Yo guys, welcome back to my channel. If you've not done already, subscribe to Off the Canvas Boxing, like the video, do all of those amazing stuff. I say that because it's not been an amazing week in boxing, amazing month, to be fair, for British boxing in general. And well, right now we're supposed to be having the watch along for the Eubank versus Benn fight. And instead, that fight has been called off as a result of Conor Benn testing positive for a banned substance. I'm not going to turn around and sugarcoat and say, oh, fucking, oh, adverse finding. No, we're not talking that like that, fam. We're going to say it how it is. We're going to rip the band-aid off. He's been tested positive for a banned substance. Before I get into it, pick up every single person here as well. Big up Parser, Mr. Jiggles. Big up you better done for who Osman might be rolling in shortly. We've got a couple of other people probably going to come later on in the show. It's been a mad week in boxing. An absolute mad week. Actually, I don't even need this. Let me just hold on, guys. I just noticed. I don't even think I need this. I might send a link out to you afterwards or like in maybe half an hour time because my head is gone, fam. I swear to God, my head is gone. Actually, you know what? Let's slot this down, okay, guys. Fam, what a week of boxing! What a week of boxing! It started off with AJ Fury falling through. Now, for me personally, I'm gonna be as honest as humanly possible. I'm gonna put. I can understand it from both sides. I'm not going to go this like I'm an AJ fan. I'm not going to go this Fury bashing and say, "Oh, flipping it off," and "Oh, oh, like flipping Fury pulling out as usual." Oh, flipping, blank shots, etc. I'm not going to do that, fam. Looking at the facts on the table, looking at we don't even know the facts to be fair, but looking at what both sides are saying, I can understand it from both level of perspective. Fury set an unreasonable deadline for the fight to take place, and therefore he wanted the fight to be negotiated and finalized sooner. Okay, on Eddie Hearn's perspective, and partly because of what we're going to be talking about later on today, of Conor Benn and all of this malarkey, Cat and the Queen passing, all kind of fell at the exact same time. Looking at the time frame, the Queen passed, I think, September the 11th. No, September. When did I fly out to Turkey? I went to Turkey the day after the Queen passed. When did I fly out to Turkey? I flew out to Turkey September, the Friday of that week, September the 11th or September 10th, or the 10th. I can't remember. Let me just look it up here. Okay, Friday the 9th, I flew out to Turkey. The Queen passed on the 8th, okay? Conor Benn, the failed test that he took was on the 31st of August, and the results came back on the 23rd of September. That makes it 3 weeks. Fucking hell. So Eddie Hearn was a little bit... Actually, I'm not giving him that pass. Sorry, I'm not giving him that pass, because if he got the results on the 23rd, that should... And the fight was called off between Fury AJ on the 20... When did I do that video? I done my video 28th, 27th, and around the 21st and 22nd is when Eddie and his mates bought Eddie, etc. pulled out. Friday, they're a bit preoccupied with the Conor Benn situation. So I can understand the back end, but really and truly, I'm a bit more comfortable in both perspective of these fight, of the camp falling through. But now it's a complete mess. Big up everyone as well. Big up Pastor. Big up Five Fan TV. Then from Five Fan TV, it's off the market officially, guys. He has signed a long-term agreement and has now been married. So if you guys could drop him a message here and congratulate him on that. That would be remarkable. Yeah, Connor shagged my whole Saturday night. No way am I staying up till 4 a.m. to watch the Duro fight. Now, his card was meant to get me hyped to roll me into the American card. Now I'm anti-climaxed out, bruv. Listen, we're all anti-climaxed out. We're all pissed. So right now is where the time we're supposed to do the watch along. We're just going to run about not having a watch along or not having a fight. Don't worry, man. We're all in the same boat. Big up Osborne as well. As up, OGC, what's good, bro? I'm fantastic. Fucking could be better, fam. Let's just say that. Personally, 3 points on the board. My team done well today. Mount Havertz, come on. Boxing. Oof. Let's not go there. Pastor says Hearn and Team Benn clearly lack confidence in beating Eubank, so they wanted him underweight and Benn drew so that they could give them the best chance of victory, but they got caught red-handed. That is a very, very, very cynical way of looking at it. However, there is truth to the first part. There is truth to the statement. Hearn and Team Benn clearly lack confidence in beating Eubank, so they wanted him underweight. They wanted him underweight, not because they didn't feel that he lacked confidence in beating Conor or beating for Conor Benn to beat Chris Eubank Jr. But that's a huge advantage. That is a huge advantage. If you came in at 168, they both fought at 168. It's a huge advantage. Let's all be real, okay? So to even it out a bit, coming in a bit underweight, it's a bit on the fairer side. That's for me personally. That's for me. I had no from Eddie's side. I didn't disagree with pursuing this fight or going about the fact that if Conor Benn got instead of ring Chris Eubank Jr., is that a bad choice overall for the career that he wants to go down? Probably not, because if you look at Conor Benn's career, Sebastian Formella, in no particular order, because I can't remember the order, it was a bit mad. Samuel Vargas, you had that guy that was running around a lot. What's his name? Granados. You had Chris Algieri. You've thrown in there Van Heerden. I think there's someone else in between. I could be mistaken. But you had those names rattling off. So for Conor Benn, his next step was fighting someone amongst the top 10, on the cusp of top 10 of welterweights. So not your boots in it, not your flipping, what's the guy, my man, the alopecia, what's his name? Cuban guy. I forgot his name. He fought Pac-Man, he beat Pac-Man. Forgot his name. You don't know what I'm talking about, yeah. He could have. I'm not talking about my man Errol Spence, and he's talking about that big category underneath it. That big category underneath it was the people I want to kind of bring to face. Keith Thurman, maybe McKinson, the other guy, the Frank Warren guy, Venetian. That was a good option as well. No. But you know what I'm talking about. These are the guys, maybe even the Josh Taylor. That was a good shout as well. Conor Benn at 157 is probably as good as some of these guys. The challenge that presents himself for Conor Benn is almost equivalent as if he were to fought Chris Eubank Jr. as some of these other guys, because the threat of a guy who's bigger, who's at that world level to an extent, it kind of balances out. So in a weird way, he kind of makes a progress in his career whilst not having progress in welterweight division, if that makes sense. It's a challenge that's acceptable. However, all I'm saying is this: Conor, fam, I don't even know where to flip and start. Let's just dissect a couple of things that I've heard in terms of the time frame. So last week, Wednesday, we had an article come up from the Daily Mail. I'm not going to credit Daily Mail whatsoever, because a big man thing, if you click on Daily Mail, it's just a whole bunch of madness and waffle, fam. flipping Susie from Sheffield, not Sheffield, because big up Osborne and them, but flipping Darren from Doncaster, yeah. Oh, he popped his tires and then flipping one, yeah, you know, he had a fight on the road. Bruv, I don't want to hear that, bruv. Yeah, so I'm not shouting them man out. Sorry. I can't shout out pure negativity, fam. Oh, flipping hell. We can't be doing this, fam. Let me go to the Daily Mail now. You don't know what I'm talking about, yeah? Exactly. You don't know what I'm talking about if you're from the UK. If you're not from the UK, well, let me just enlighten you. Go on the Daily Mail website. Our hearts are broken. Teen rugby star, mother and design student 23 become the latest victims to be identified in Irish petrol station gas blast tragedy that left 10 dead. All right, cool. Scroll down. Cheryl Cole reunites with ex Liam and Flip. Bruv, you know what I'm talking about, guys. Yeah, I think you lot are getting the gist here. You lot are getting the gist here. Let's go down a bit more. Putin in Crimea. All right, say no more. What else? Nah, they don't show Cole 30. You know, Cheryl 39. They mentioned the age, fam. You don't need to do that, fam. That's peak. Oh, wait, vegans and just stop all your eco zealots join forces to bring central London to a standstill and pour milk all over the roads. A group of activists, vegan activists, are pouring milk down the road, like cow's milk down the road because of environmental reasons. But you know what I'm talking about. So I'm not bigging these men out, yeah? I'm sorry, guys. I big people up all the time here, but fam, this is one place I ain't bigging up, fam. Big man thing. And the Sun newspaper, fam. And you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, they broke the article and said, listen, Conor Benn tested positive for a PED substance called Clementine. Bruv, you don't know what I'm talking about. Clementine, bruv. We're going to call it Clementine right now. Clementine is a female fertility drug. Why is it in the system? I don't know. I have no idea why it's in the system. I ain't got the foggiest idea. Why it's in clomiphene. Don't know why that thing's in the system. Big up fight fan. Or big up stay blessed real. What's good, man? All I'm saying is I'm very disappointed. We're all disappointed. Stay blessed fan. Big man thing. Pissed. Bro, I swear to God, we are pissed. We're pissed. Big up Skyliner. I can't believe her still wanted the fight to go ahead even after the Benn failed the test. Yet once he was saying, "What's the point in drug test if it don't matter?" Now, Eddie's getting cooked, fam. In this show, I will cook it. I'm sorry, Eddie Hearn has been one of the best promoters in the last 2-3 years, and for me, he's the number one promoter, boxing promoter. I'm talking about the volume of shows, and I'm talking about the quality of the cards, plus the amount of top level fighters that's under his roster and who they're being matched up against and etc. Eddie Hearn, to me, is the best promoter in the game right now. But he's not above criticism. Oh, he will get criticism. And I'm sorry. He's going to get his fair share of corn. Daily Mail broke the article. British Boxing Board Control said the fight's not going on as a result of flipping the good of boxing. Okay. Eddie and Kelly Salon pissed. They go behind the scenes, into the little meeting rooms, flipping the glass water bottles, fam. You lot know I'm talking about the glass cups, sitting down on a big Zoom call meeting with flipping lawyers, etc. Saying, fam, what are we going to do? How are we going to get the fight over the line? Yeah. On that day that the news article broke, I heard a bag of interviews from Eddie Hearn. Oh, the most. Listen, there's so many options we could do. We could go with injunction. We could go into some kind of commission and go to do another commission. But we want to get this resolved with the British Boxing Board of Control. Fair enough. Calais Island, same thing. Yeah. I don't listen to only Eddie. I go around the block and I listen to all of these men. Yeah. See what them men are saying. Yeah. And see if I can get some level of similarity. Cool. Day later, all of us man are sitting there chilling. Yeah, I've got the live stream in the background. I'm just sitting there thinking, bro, what the flip's going on here? Big up ID Boxing. They had a live stream on at the same time with Castillo and and Rob Tebbett. I was listening to that. No news. Eddie drops a little press conference. Yeah, I'm gonna call it do you know what? A media, I don't know what you call it, fam. You don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know what you call it. But Eddie, Calais Salmon sit down together and they literally have a statement. No questions asked. You're not allowed to ask a single question afterwards, and we're just going to explain what the situation is. And in that statement, and in the statement that I've heard that they've written, the written one and the verbal one, in no sentence did I see any kind of accountability or huge sorrow and compassion for the fans that effectively not only bought tickets, but the fans maybe bought a pay-per-view, the fans who were very disappointed that this fight never went ahead. It's like they didn't even care. It's like far flipping out British Boxing Board of Control. Bruv, you don't know what I'm talking about, yeah? It's like they didn't even care. Okay. Roll on. No interviews. That part, I don't know why, I don't know how, but why on earth are they not allowed to? So what? So they're gonna drop us with this bombshell and walk out the back door. What is this, fam? What's going on? What's going on? I'm very, very disappointed. So we didn't get to see this fight. Effectively, we did not get to see this fight. We didn't get to see AJ versus Fury either. So right now, what's happening? What's happening now? What are we doing here? Like, what's the point? What is the point? Okay. Undercard fighters, because we talk about the undercard as well. Where do we go? Sorry, not Galal. Galal, yeah, Galal Yafai, Shadow Courtney. You've got Felix Cash, Ellie Scotty, all on the undercard. Okay, this is Eddie's fighters. Eddie done the interview today. How? Yo, there's a lot of things we're going to talk about in the interview. But Eddie done the interview. Those people on the card will get relocated onto all of the other cards going forward. Okay, so Galal, etc. They'll get slotted into some undercards, but it's like I'm very, very disappointed in Eddie and how he's handled this. Carrie Sarah, how they've handled it. Okay, very, very, very poor, very poor from all of the relevant parties. A lot of them. Okay, now we'll go into your questions before we start talking about the meat and bones of this. The meat and bones of this, because in terms of the crux, the real deep rooted issues as to what's going on here, because there are a lot of deep rooted issues. Okay, before that we'll get into your questions. Let me just sort a couple of things out. Okay, sorted. Let's go up. Was excited for the big up Major K Dot. Was excited for the fight. It's a shame the chatter has been mad, but Eubank Jr. has somehow shining through this. I wouldn't say so. I see a lot of people say that, but I don't think that Eubank Jr. has won over a lot of fans. I don't think so. I don't think that if he goes into another fight going forward, that he would attract a larger audience as a result of this. I don't think that, because if that was the case, Andrade would have them. After Villager Saunders got popped himself, there would have been a lot of fans for Demetrius Andrade. That wasn't really the case. When Big Baby Miller popped dirty, I didn't see a lot of people thinking, oh, AJ, like, he done amazing. Like, AJ, like, there wasn't a lot of like love pouring in for Anthony Joshua at that period of time. But Chris Eubank Jr., maybe the perception might have changed a little bit, but I don't think he gained a lot of fans and looking a whole lot better from this. It's actually Conor Benn that looks worse. He looks worse than Conor. He looks better than Conor Benn. And before the fight, he didn't look as bad as Conor Benn, but It's a bit mad, yeah. OTC, I need to bruv. We're gonna drop the link, fam. Oh my god, we're gonna drop the link in about 10 minutes. After when I rip Eddie and flipping my man. Oh my god, the doctor. I've got the doctor's clips, guys. You man, done for Guardian Times Daily Mail, bruv. You not know. Han has been cooked more than Ben. To be honest, his enemies have been praying for this. That's understandable. That's understandable. I mean, if Eddie got run over by a truck here and broke his leg, these promoters, public would be like, "Oh, get well soon, Eddie," but privately they'll be popping the champagne. These men are crooks. These men are just preying on other people's downfall, and I'm very very pissed off. To even worry about these, they're the slimy people, fam. I like some of those people as well. They represent boxers and fighters that pop dirty and just keep it moving. I would go as far as saying there are the promoters that laughed at Eddie Hearn that Eddie Hearn is a lot more squeaky clean in this, despite today or this week. Eddie Hearn is probably more squeaky clean than some of these men that laughing at him. You don't know what I'm talking about. Eddie is getting cooked because of how he went on Big Baby Pfizer, bro. Big Baby flipping Pfizer. That is mad. Nah, fam. Jarrell AstraZeneca sayings, bro. It is peak. Big Baby Miller, yeah. Bruv. I don't know how. I honestly do not know how. Yo, he's a walking pharmacist. I think Hearn is a good promoter, but there has been zero accountability. This is what I'm saying. Agreed from the team. Wait, hold on. From the team, Ben. Team Ben are acting shocked when they know what's going on. When they knew what's going on. I think that's what you meant. And they did. They knew since the 23rd. So between the 23rd and the 8th of October, or not 8th, between the 23rd, because the 8th is the date, between the 23rd, the news broke out on Wednesday. So between the 23rd and the 5th, yeah, that big gap in between, they kept their mouth shut. Oh, bruv. You can't go around it. Ellie Scotney is to fight on Katie Taylor card in Wembley Arena 29th of October. That is true as well. Big up 55 TV for sharing that as well, because I forgot. Well, I knew I didn't want to get it wrong, but I had a feeling it was that card as well. They keep saying that the fight is postponed or cancelled. Is Eddie trying to force this fight this year? Here's the situation. And it's very, even though Eddie's messed up, and he's messed up a lot, it's very difficult to put 100% onus on Eddie, because Eddie is going by the system and the rule book. And that rule book is flawed and the system is broken. So you've got UCAD, UK Anti-Doping Agency, here in the UK. I think they're employed, or they're the party that is recognized by the British Boxing Board of Control. Then you've got VADA, okay? And I heard Eddie talking about this today, between VADA and UCAD. Where is it? I think I've got it up here somewhere. Hopefully it's this one. Let me just put my camera. Hold on. Let me just put my headphones on. I think this is it. Hold on.
VADA is, in our instances, for a lot of those fights, a testing process that is agreed between the parties. So in this instance, it's Matchroom and Wasserman have paid the money to make sure, and at the request of both fighters, by the way.
Okay. This is the issue. If UCAD was so fantastic, like Eddie said, why would you need VADA? I'm asking the obvious questions here. If UCAD are adequate, okay, and they're doing a fantastic job, why do we need VADA? And why would we need to pay money for VADA? If I've got something for free, is UCAD for free? I mean, they pay fixed the commission, but it's a lot cheaper than VADA. I'll take that for free, because the way Ed's banging on about it, he's not mentioning UCAD fees, okay? Because it's probably chicken change, but VADA fees, bags, hundreds of bags a year for him. Yeah, we're talking like probably 500,000, depending on who's on the fights. I think it's like 40K per fighter that request for VADA testing. So how many fighters does Eddie put in the ring every year of that highest level that would request for VADA testing? You do the maths. Probably like 250,000, 500,000. Numbers fluctuate, but it's a lot of money. Why would you need that? Put that money there when really and truly, if you had something as good home in UCAD, that's my number one question. And if UCAD aren't as good, why they be recognized? Why can't they just be dissolved? Why can't there be a merge between or a division amongst VADA? So I don't know, maybe have like a little division, have a subsidiary within VADA and say, you know what, we want VADA testing. Okay, the commission pays for it. So the UK commission pays for VADA, and VADA supplies them with information. There's a UK version of a UK household in VADA. They get their information, like a little headquarters for VADA in the UK. Why not have that? And they could control that little one and franchise it out. Why can't they do that? That's my first question. Okay, but then you do have VADA, which quote unquote is not recognized by the British Boxing Board of Control. Why is it not recognized by the British Boxing Board of Control? Why? But well, I could speculate. My biggest speculation is that they don't have control over it. And what I mean they don't have control over it is that if VADA says I want to put flipping Ribena on the bad substance list, with that, and they're not going to ask all of the commissions, oh, what do you think of this? They're just going to slap it on. Okay, maybe that part they don't agree with, maybe, but then again, why don't they up UK to a level that is as good, if not better than VADA? That's another great question. Then Eddie Hearn said, he said to Mandis, I think this is what else he said. I think this is about the undercard, to my understanding.
It goes to the parties. So in this instance, when the parties sign up to VADA testing, every result comes back via email, positive or negative, to all parties involved. So when people say about this test was covered up, this test was never covered up. The test came through as a positive test, an adverse analytical finding. And then on the same email is Robert Smith from the British Boxing Board of Control, Matchroom and Team Benn, Callis Allen and Team Wasserman, Team Eubank.
Fam, so this wasn't a cover-up on the basis that the information was shared amongst all of the relevant parties. Yes, it was a cover-up because it was a cover-up from us, man. It was a cover-up from the fans that booked tickets, that booked flights, that booked hotels, that booked all of this. It was a cover-up, fam. Yeah, that's what a conspiracy is. If it's in the government and the government ministers know and they cover it up, that's a big cover-up. You don't remember the parties where Bojo and them man were doing like indoor raves and stuff like that. That was considered a cover-up, okay? Reputation-wise, that is poor, man. And then you come afterwards and you start handing out stick to the British Boxing Board of Control. Come on, bro. Leave it out, mate. Eddie rates VADA higher than UCAD. Here we go. He rates VADA higher than UCAD. I don't even get like from UCAD's perspective. Okay, your UK anti-doping agency. Why would you allow so your big promoters in the UK are going out of their way to employ another drug testing agency because they don't think you're good enough? That's effectively what we're down to. Because you're not good enough, we're going to employ someone else and put a bag of peas to them on their doorstep. Okay? And then Eddie is banging on about, flipping, they do amazing stuff. Mate, leave it at. No, you had 8 death or 3. Probably not. To answer your question, so Benn could be ranked with the WBC. The clean boxing program, I understand that part, but it's a bit different. Clean boxing program means that any ranked fighter within the top 15 gets tested. I think once a year, once or twice a year. There's like a base level testing. VADA testing for a camp is a lot more extensive. They come a little bit more regularly. It's like a different membership to my understanding. VADA test for drugs, UK test for Doritos and Skittles. Big, what did these man do? Fam, I don't know, fam. And then the last thing before Skyline, we're gonna open up the lines. Actually, you know what? We're gonna drop the link before like right now, and then we're gonna touch upon that last thing. This is an absolute, show. You know what I'm talking about. This is the clip that I saw from Quality Shot Boxing. Some of you don't really know him. He's a very avid supporter of the channel as well. Show lots of support. We should be doing some collab fairly soon with him. But this guy, big him up as well. Quality Shot. He done an interview with Dr. Umang Sajjad, sports doctor and GP. So this is Conor Benn's doctor on how to take testosterone and still get around the random drug testing. Listen to this guy before. If you want to jump in, we could jump in and we'll open up the line straight after, because I'm pissed off at this. When I heard this, I'm like, fam, it's peak. It's peak.
However, you can get around the random drug testing, because between the hours of 11 p.m. and 7 a.m., they're not allowed to come to your house. You seem to go time rest. So a lot of athletes can take very fast-acting testosterone or growth hormones, which can leave your body, which can only be in your body for 7 or 8 hours. So you could take it at sort of 9 or 10 p.m. and it would be out of your system by 7, 8 in the morning. Does that make sense? So there are ways that can get around it. Like, there's a lot of ways. They may take a diuretic to flush out, what they've been taking. There's a lot of tricks, especially when you get to the higher level, the elite level, level, maybe European. They'll find every possible way of winning. And you got to think about it, when they're out of camp, when they're not in training camp, unless they're enrolled in the WBC clean boxing all year round random blood testing, what's stopping them doping when they're out of season?
Yo, these crooks, fam. Wallahi, I'm telling you, these boxing people, are crooks. I think they should be arrested, a lot of them. Half of them deserve to be arrested. Crooks. I'm speechless. But there's another man who I know is not going to be speechless in this circumstance, who's going to maybe get a lot off his chest. Welcome to the platform again, Skyliner. Big up.
Yo, OTC, welcome back.
Big up, bro. Bro, it's peak.
Bro, I've been hearing what you're saying, yeah.
It's
a lot. Yeah. But I got alternative opinion, yeah. I know it's not gonna be like everyone's cup of tea, yeah, but to be honest, yeah, they should have let them fight. I wanted to see the fight like everybody else, but let's be honest, yeah. Boxing is a bastard sport, yeah. It's like these things are common ground in boxing. They should have just let it be, bro. Like, if the fighters are okay with it, they should have let them fight. Yeah. Let me just tell you, yeah. I know Eddie Hearn is getting a lot of stick, yeah, but in the end, yeah, they did what is deemed as righteous, yeah. Even though people are slating them, yeah. However, if it was Frog Eyes or any other promoter, let me just tell you, Darren
might have cut out. To my understanding.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Perfect.
All right. Let me just tell you, yeah, Eddie Hearn is getting a lot of stick, but in the end, he done the righteous thing. What is people saying is the right thing to do, yeah. But if it was any other promoter in the world, Frank Warren, Louis DeBella, or the Duvaz, or whoever, yeah, they would have put that show through no matter what. You think they're gonna lose their money? You think how much money they lost? You think they're gonna be able to recoup that because Conor Benn is an idiot. Like,
I don't
bruv,
know, bro.
this guy jeopardized so many people's bellies. Yeah, them guys on the undercard. Who gonna pay their bills, bruv? Who gonna pay for their camps? Is Conor Benn better go sell that Phantom or Wraith or whatever and pay for these guys? Because he's done a selfish act. Yeah. Anyway, what I'm saying, they should have just let them fight. We would as paying customers would have been okay with it. I would have been okay with it. I would not have any moral issues or ethics. Yeah, I would have had a great weekend, bro. Like,
Do you know what? I hear you.
we know boxing has these issues, yeah, and they're not gonna get ironed out anytime soon because there's a systemic failure. The British Board of Control, yeah, these guys are bookie, bro. How did they know? They knew 2 weeks ago. Why did they make a judgment on it then? Well, they only made a decision because they got pressed by the Daily Mail. It's not my favorite newspaper. However, I feel like there's some ulterior motive. Why are you coming out with a story so late in the day? Like, I'm sure they're pally with the whoever's don't like Eddie. Like, do you get it? It's a dirty game, bro. Like,
do you know what's crazy as well? Yeah, wait, quick,
sorry, performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah.
In sports in general, yeah, it's especially in combat sports, is very common, man. It's very common. The ease in which you can go to a lot of gyms and like get access to good quality stuff as well, yeah. It's so easy.
You're saying it
But
like
it's like,
you're saying it like this is like the gyms are the ultimate. You're saying it like the gyms are the ultimate plug, fam. You're saying it like the gyms here.
no, because the gyms are the platform where you go through and people give you the connection. Yeah, go see this guy. Go see this pharmacist. Go see this doctor. This guy is my guy. Blah blah blah. I had an issue with my hernia. He sorted it out. You go see him. Anyway, yeah. What I'm saying, a lot of the points you made, yeah. A lot of the points you made, yeah. OTC. I'm not even contesting it, yeah. I'm not even going against it, yeah. However, if it was another sport, yeah, a legitimate sport where it wasn't full of contradictions, those comments are valid and they would have held high regard. But boxing, it's not really a sport, bro. It's a business. This is the line that needs to be drawn. People, the lines are so blurred, yeah.
Wait,
but ultimately, it's a business.
On this one, this is where I completely disagree. For me, my personal opinion is I treat boxing like a sport, and the reason why I treat it like a sport, everyone else is it's a bit different, but I treat it like a sport, and therefore I want the best to compete against the best. I don't want no other shenanigans and political reasons as to why you can't get into a situation where you can compete for accolades and achievements be the reason as to why your career isn't fulfilled. And for me personally, I hear what you're saying, but that's the attitude for me as to how this issue kind of remains within the sport. If every person was like me, yeah, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but if every person was like, yo, this is all crooked, let's clean it up and let's create some level of structure amongst it, bro, we would have had it by now. But I hear what you're saying. There is some level of contradictions.
My response to that, yeah, OTC, again, in principle, I agree with you, yeah. However, in boxing, all of the decisions that are made, yeah, all the setups, all of the organizations, the governing bodies, they are set up for the purposes of business. They're not set up on sporting grounds. The accolades, the achievements, these are secondary aspects. The initial aspect, the lifeline of this sport, that you want to call it a sport, is business, is to drive revenue, is to make money. And the decisions that are made, yeah, are business decisions. across the board. Even the way the board of control is in bed with UCAD is to do with financial revenues. Yeah.
I hear that, but
Yeah.
back to this fight. For me, for
Yeah.
this fight in particular, and I'm gonna go specifically on this fight. For
Yeah.
me, if they had proceeded with this fight,
Yeah.
they would have lost a lot more down the line than they would do in this fight. Just for this fight, immediately, yes, they would have had a cash injection. More people may have been interested in the controversy, etc. But let's
Tell me
say
what they would have lost. OTC, tell me what they would have lost.
they would have lost for, first of all,
Tell me,
reputation.
what is it that they would have lost? Tell me.
Reputational damage, and reputation, it takes years to build. Yeah, reputational damage is very key. Okay, if people know them as an unethical business where they put fighters in the ring who are quote unquote been tested positive for banned substances, later on,
okay, you say that, but our world supposedly undisputed world heavyweight champion, bloody Tyson Fury, man got done for nandrolone, like, and whatever else. He's held as the new White Hope, bro. Like,
no, but I'm talking about Matchroom. I'm talking about Matchroom and Wasserman. And this is very close to home when it comes to Eubanks as well. In terms of
let me tell you something.
It's very close to home. So
boxing, people that follow boxing, they're kind of fickle, bro. It will blow over, they'll get over it, and it will be just a conversational point. Yeah. If this fight went ahead, it would have just gave us another element to chat about. Yeah. But
I hear you. I hear you.
I don't think he would have done any damage. Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you a question.
Mainstream.
Let me ask you one quick question.
Okay, go on. Go on.
What happens if, bearing in mind, Chris Eubank Sr. earlier on that week requested that, the fight to be boycotted because he felt his son was being put in a difficult situation where he was maybe
a bloody attention seeker, man.
I understand where he's coming from.
Right,
I hear him. He has got a level of perspective on it. Okay, yes, what you're saying is partly right. However, this is his own son we're talking about here. He's not going to be it's a bit different here. And later on in the week, okay, we found out that Chris Eubank Jr., or not Chris Eubank, Conor Benn tested positive for performance-enhancing drug or a banned substance, okay? Whether it's performance-enhancing, that remains to be seen. I don't know. And on the weekend, okay, bearing in mind, we know the Michael Watson situation with his father, Chris Eubank Sr., and the effect he had on the sport. Imagine if Junior comes out extremely horrible, and he got put into he had his career cut short, okay? And we all know that Conor Benn tested positive for a banned substance, okay? The fam, I promise you right now, they would have lock off box.
But then if
the zone will say, listen, I'm having Serie A, I'm having flipping German league, where they're going to go all out to get the Champions League. They're going to do everything in their power and to get in replacing boxing. And they'll say to Eddie, listen, we might have aging shows, but after that, we've cut ties with you completely. Okay. The boxing world will go into downward. You saw it with the Olympics.
I hear that, yeah, and it's a very sentimental driven point you're making, yeah. However, this is how it is, yeah. If they really cared about the boxers, yeah, the board would have intervened far sooner, and they would have dealt the punishment that is correct for Conor Benn. However, they left it. Why did they leave such a gray area, knowing what they know? Because they know better than us. Huh?
You have got a point. You have got a point on that.
Dirty, bro. It's dirty. The board in itself is not fit for purpose. It's an old boys club. Do you get it? Yeah. And you know what it would have been? It would have been, old frog guys. He would have went to Botswana border control or border control of Bangladesh or something and got the license, and he would have legally got out of this situation. He would have had the fight. Everybody would have paid up. You know what I mean? So we need to give Eddie Hearn some credit for doing the right thing, even though I think I would have loved to see the fight. Yeah.
You know what? You're not the only one.
Yeah.
I heard Eddie Hearn's interview, and I thought, like, bro, there can't be. Surely, I think Eddie's making it up. But you're not the only one that said, I wish to see the fight regardless of the situation.
I don't know if it's ever gonna take place again, man.
I'm sorry, but I'm not banging at the drum saying, because you've got to think about it from both fighters, from a boxing perspective, from a pure boxing perspective, and I'm not talking about it from the sentimental value of the background of the family history, etc. But just from a pure boxing perspective, a guy at 157 who wants to fight, or 160 wants to fight for world titles, and a guy at 147 who wants to compete for world titles. Is it the best situation for them to get into the ring at their stage of their career? Probably not. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's just call a spade a spade. It's probably not the best time for them to get into the ring. The only reason why they're getting into the ring is for either money or for the story value.
See, exactly. You just answered one of my points. Yeah, the initial reason why they got in the ring was financially driven. Yeah, it was business first. Then we didn't even talk about the sporting element. Do you get it?
Yeah.
And the whole fight was sold to us because of historical and sentimental aspect. Do you get it?
Born rivals. That's
Born rivals.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what's gonna happen next? I bet you, and I got a feeling, the Zone are gonna get very pally with Chris Eubank and the Sauerlands, and they're gonna push for that Jake Paul fight. Because everything the Zone want in a star, in a boxing pay-per-view star, Chris Eubank Jr. actually has it.
I would disagree.
He ticks all the boxes.
He don't tick the boxes.
He does. He just doesn't have the level of competition so they can pit him against, and so he can put the performance in the ring. But all the elements that you need for a pay-per-view star are there. You just need to get a good chef to get in the kitchen and put it together. But I think
he's not. We have to be honest with ourselves. Do you know why? Chris Eubank Jr. Okay, it's all well and good having being a good speaker and being somewhat a good boxer.
Oh, he done fantastic, man. Some of the stuff, the trolling stuff, was hilarious.
I agree. It is fun. However, is Chris Eubank Jr. outside of the ring for promoters is a very difficult person to deal with. Not from a trainer perspective, a manager, and a promoter's perspective. Very difficult to work with. He would only choose a fight if it works best for him. And that's across the board. If it's I'm talking about, everything is perfect for him, he would proceed with the fight. We saw stories about him pulling out of the Triple G fight, etc. You know what I'm talking about. But
I think that was,
and you have to talk about ceiling as well.
Influenced that a lot.
No, that's him. That's him. I'm sorry. Like he's the boxer. At the end of the day, yes, his father has a huge influence and an input, but the oldest and the buck stops with the boxer. In a lot of the situations, the oldest stops with the boxer. Chris could turn around and say, "Listen, mate, I'm going to proceed with this fight. If you forget about the painting, I'm going to proceed this fight regardless. I guarantee you the fight would have happened. Let's all be honest with ourselves. The fight would have happened. That, like, all of those reasons are not valid reasons as to why the fight can't happen. Bro, imagine the Champions League final and you got footballers' dad saying, flipping, it might get a bit, you're injured quite a bit. Like, don't play this final. You think the footballers will listen? Let's be honest with ourselves. They ain't listening. It takes a lot to get to a world title. At the final,
how do you reckon they're gonna sell us the redemption story of Conor Benn making?
They're not. They're gonna let this blow over.
You think they're gonna let him rot?
Who? Conor Benn? No, they're gonna let it blow over. They at this point, it's too hot off the press. It has to blow over.
No,
For this,
somewhere down the line, like next year, the redemption story's back on, innit? Like, this guy
maybe
needs to recoup the money that they've lost on him, innit?
they lost a bit of money, but they haven't lost most of the money. 70% of the money, or I think 78% of the money, goes to the fighter purse. The fighter purse is released on the Friday. I think,
Yo, Zone or Eddie Hearn, yeah, they spent a lot of money, man. That production is top tier production, man. It was no joke thing. Like, it wasn't like BT Sports where they just look like some GCSE project somebody put up. Yeah, this stuff, the red carpet theme, yeah, that was like out of the box stuff. It looked like, I don't know if you ever been to London Fashion Week, yeah, but it was similar elements to that. Yeah,
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Do you get it? That concept. If they had pulled off this success with this fight, you could have seen running with this concept for the next big pay-per-view. And
I hear you.
like,
I hear you.
I like what Matchroom do. They always do something innovative. Yeah, they always step it up. They put money where other promotions they're neglectful. Do you get it? So
I don't think it's always. I don't think on that point. I don't think most of those circumstances are down to the promoters. I think it's actually down to the networks. The networks are the ones, because a lot of the stuff that came this week and the money that Eddie Hearn is using, it's not coming from Matchroom boxers necessarily.
But they are the ones doing it, in it. Like,
the BT budget is not high. I'll tell you that for free. The BT budget is not high, but I think there's a lot of chat people in terms of the comments, and I'm going to read for a couple of them at the moment.
I just want to finally, before I shoot off, I just want to say, like people like Ade Oladipo, bad boys, bro. It makes me feel like one of the boys is on TV and chatting and interviewing. You get it? Yeah, he's doing a wicked job, bro. And also, ID boxing, these guys, bro, that boy is a bad boy. He's the best damn interviewer out of all these lot. You know that, yeah. They don't even come close.
October Red. Nah, I'm gonna. October Red gets much.
October's in the mix as well. Big up October Red, yeah.
Yeah, come on.
You get it? But like they brought a new element, even though they brought in Castillo, like it just brings that a bit of sense of humor and all of that. Yeah, I enjoyed watching.
I can't lie, we kind of need it in the sport, because right now, like if there was
he puts a bit of, even though they're talking about something serious, he just brings that little bit of levity in the situation, and like it just makes it more entertaining to watch the interviews, because a lot of it sometimes is a lot of rinse and repeat. But I think they've done a very good job, them two. They make a weird sort of, I don't know, it's a weird partnership, because obviously you wouldn't
think of it. You wouldn't think of it.
But it's like a buddying cop film, and then they just somehow
whoa. Nah. Yo, that is bad. It's
like 24 hours. You know that film, 24 Hours?
I'm not gonna.
Eddie Murphy and Jeff Bridges.
No, I'm not gonna ask. No. We're not doing the IC3 stuff. Yeah, we're not doing that. we're not doing that. Shout out Castillo, ID Boxing, Rob Tepper, but also, October Red. I think. Do you know what it is? I think a lot of the new guys as well are coming with their own flavor. They're coming with their own questions. They're bringing certain level of different content as well, which is fantastic as well. So you have to salute them. And big them up entirely. But yeah, big up Skyliner. Much love. Hopefully you got a lot off your chest.
Bro. All right, cool, man.
Big up, bro. Big up. Wow, we've got a lot of things on chat to go through. Much love to all of you guys who are tuned in. We're supposed to have to watch along, guys, but fuck it. We're here now. Welcome. Are the rumors true that this happened 4 months ago? If so, why have they waited until now? Actually, so how it worked is that the test was taken the 31st of August. and the test results came back the 23rd of September. Why it took 3 weeks for the test results to come back, I have no idea. I'll be honest with you guys. I have no idea. Like, I spent a lot of time in hospital. Of course, I've been ill with my own suffering. Like, I suffered from cancer, came back, and then there's a lot of times I was in and out of hospital, and I've never had to wait 3 weeks for a simple urine test result. In fact, I used to get urine sample tested for random stuff, and I think the results for that used to come back, I think 2 or 3 days. So the fact that it took 3 weeks for a big company to come back without those results, it leads me to believe that there's some bandulu stuff amongst that. I know that amongst that time there was the Queen's passing, but after that, what was it 2 or 3 days, and it was a bank holiday on the 19th? Excuses. And then they only broke it out this Wednesday, believe it or not. Crooked. Big up, big up Maestro. Yeah, big up Maestro A Boxing. And subscribe to your channel if you haven't done it already. Do some amazing stuff. Has a live show every single Monday, man. Or man, I think that's his next live show, to my understanding. But subscribe, post notifications onto his channel. You don't know all the updated content, you will get it immediately. Skyliner, I agree. He done righteous things. Eddie gets a stick because of the standards he set, but I agree, more time other promoters would have gone on, and most of us would have still watched it. This is where I agree as well. A lot of promoters, and Skyline is right on this one. A lot of other promoters, Eddie said this as well, but I didn't want to hear that from Eddie. It's correct, but it's like the wrong timing. I didn't want to hear it from him that other promoters would have gone on, etc. But I don't think that's I don't think that's a good thing. I don't think you should be bragging about that. That's something that you should that's like saying, oh, flipping, oh, I saw a dead person on the street, so instead of walking away, I called the police, I called the ambulance. Most of the people would have walked away. Like, bruv, like, I'm not being funny. It's a duty of care situation. You understand? Oh, flip, I missed it. I skipped. Oh, bruv, I skipped that back of your comments. Apologies. We got some here you would have done for Mark Hunt sued the UFC after Brock Lesnar B sample came out positive after the fight. So it's peak for matchup if they continued with the fight. It's very difficult to continue with a fight like this of this nature. Personally, I'll sack it off completely. It's not worth it. Personally, do you know what I would have done? Okay, what's the medical control? Eubank Jr., Conor Benn, well, it's with Eddie Hearn. For Conor Benn, not Adrian Broad, but someone like, he needs a comeback fight. So after this, or if he's not banned already, he needs a decent level fight, in my opinion, in America. Forget the UK. At this point, it's too hot on the block. You know when it's too hot on the block here, you can't show face anymore. So right now, he's got to go outside of the block. He's got to go out of town. He's got to go to America. Yeah, the land of the. Well, I was about to say land. Masha would have other, like, we'll say other stuff. It's not really the land of the free, etc. But we won't go into politics. However, go to US, top 20 guy, slap him up in the US, and then go on to maybe fighting Keith Thurman shortly afterwards. Okay, out there in America. After that, maybe push on, and try to see if you can fight for world title fairly soon. If you can get to a position of fighting for world title, win, lose, or draw, then you come back to the UK, have a fight in the UK, apologize for your own actions, do many interviews, say, listen, I don't know what I took. Maybe it was part of something. I have no idea, but I apologize for wasting everyone's time. Time is the best healer. What major sport isn't a business? All of them are businesses. I agree. But I'll give you an example. Football is a sport before it's a business. Okay, what I mean by this is we know who's fighting, who's what match is being played, where, when, what time, where you can get the tickets. We also know what competition everybody's in. We know when the next round of fixtures are. We know when the World Cup is. We know where the Champions League is. We know where the Premier League happens. We know all that information. At the end of the Premier League season, whoever gets the highest goals or scores the most goals gets the golden boot. Whoever has it's a competition. Yes, they're very highly paid athletes, and there is a business element when it comes down to sponsorships, tickets, and stuff like that. There is a business element to it, but that isn't the focus. In boxing, 90% business, 10% sport. Who is apart from mandatories? Who is actually supposed to fight who? Apart from mandatories, and maybe a bloody Olympics, which they're about to cut as well. Who is actually mandated and who has to definitely fight this person? And if you don't fight them, you've got a loss on your record. Nobody. There's not a single fight out there that if you avoid, you get a loss on your record. In a football match, if you deliberately postpone a football match and you're without a valid reason, when I mean valid reason, like flipping half your squad is suffering COVID or flipping or bloody it's a pandemic or the Queen has passed. Like, unless it's a serious situation, well, some people might not, but you know what I'm talking about. Unless it's an applicable excuse, those other sports, if you decide to sack it off, not only is it fine, but it's deemed as a loss on your record. So for me personally, yes, the other sports are business, but there is some level of structure. This is pretty much all business at this point. Like you wouldn't if this was football, you wouldn't say, "Oh, flipping 20 footballers are going to go all the way to China," or there have been footballers going to China, Qatar, places like that. Well, for the money, but that's few and far between. If there were boxers that played football, bruv, all of these men would be playing in flipping the Indian Premier League, fam. Big man team. They'll be playing in flipping MLS. Shout out my American brothers. You know what I'm talking about. Big up my Americans. It's never late. You know what? We're going to pin this comment. We are going to pin this comment. Chazgo, give yourself a pat on the back. Yeah? It's never too late to clean the sport up. Agreed. This is what I'm. Listen. I swear. You deserve an award for that. Chaz, you deserve an award for that because big man thing. Right now. That's what I'm pinning that. I'm pinning that motherfucker. Sorry. But honestly, it's no worse than Chako not making weight and Constance Chow having to fight him. Different set of weights, different set of requirements. And I agree that Constance Chow should not have fought Shakur Stevenson on the basis of that there was no weight, but different. Different. It's a different set of circumstances. Not making weight and fighting an undersized opponent is also performance enhancing. As are mismatches. But drugs, he has got a point. Maestro has got a point on this one. It's very difficult to argue with that point. If I don't know, flipping. If Tyson Fury fights Manuel Charles, is that not seeking? But there's it's tough. I know what you mean. Mismanagement of fighters and fighting people who you shouldn't be fighting is definitely or fighting an undersized fighter just to get the W. It's like basically fighting someone at your weight with a pen. I get it, but this is why this is where structure comes into place. If you don't have a structure, with football, guys, let me just explain to you something. Yeah, you can't qualify. Listen, you can't be or go far. Let's just say in the Champions League, in the World Cup, without having to beat at least some credible teams. At least a credible team. You can't have random. You can't say France are going to play Somalia next week, who basically we don't talk about that. Fam. It's a dead team, bro. We lost 3-0 to Eswatini, fam. Where the fuck is Eswatini, bro? But we're not talking about that now. But if flipping France says, okay, for the World Cup final, I'm going to bloody play Somalia FC, of course it'll be an unfair situation. But there's qualifications to get to those high level places. The qualification that you've got to fight for a world title. Right now, Jake Paul can fight for a world title. If a Coley turns around and says, I want to fight him, there's no real. Actually, not arisen. Actually, is there? I think the WPA did something with Lucas Brown, so I think they're trying to cut back on it. Watch this space. I'll talk about it another time. But you know what I mean. Eubank passed Varda. Big up to all of you guys in the comment section as well. Some of you guys have made some very good points. Don't always agree with it, but I can understand that perspective. Eubank passed Varda. Lobo passed Varda. Why is nobody thinking about the clean fighters? It's not fair on them. Is the sport? It's not fair on them that the sport is the dirtiest sport. I agree. It's not their fault. Eubank was 161 on Tuesday. Man cut weight for nothing, fam. Brother, it's going to make it harder and harder for him to make that weight going forward. You're not going to... No way is he going to weigh 157 in 2-3 years' time. Impossible. He's going to be fighting at 168. So right now, it's pretty much a now or never time. And you know what? If I was Eubank Jr., I'd say, you know what? Going forward, we're fighting at 163. Take it or leave it. Straight up. Conor Benn was in the hot seat. Now Conor Benn is now the B side for all of the shenanigans, and that's rightly so. And if I was Eddie, I would say to Conor Benn, listen, mate, shut your mouth. You're going to fight at 163, or you're not going to have the fight at all. Because last time it was your fault. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's your fault. Taylor said he cut to 159. He cut 159 today, which means that yesterday he would have been at 157 had he worked on cutting. So I'd work is that they'll cut to like a couple of pounds off the weight that they want to fight at, apart from heavyweight. But for every other weight, they would, they'll cut down to about a couple of pounds difference of where they want to fight. And they try to take that off naturally. So maybe taking a couple of runs, work it out throughout the week, and then at the end of the week, it would have come off naturally. Or sit in a sauna for a couple of days, and all of a sudden, you're back down to 156, 157, straight up. If you're over by a couple of pounds, they'll give you 2 hours to take it off. You sit in a sauna, problem solved. So it's not really like, it's just a management at this point. But once you get down to 159, take it off another 2 pounds. It's during 5 weeks, it takes a couple of days. Sauna sittings. Sauna sittings, taking it, emptying out the tank in your body. I was about to say something different, but kids might be watching. But I did swear, but apologies for my own language. Actually, I just dropped the link again in the chat. The video was jump on. You're more than free to do so. We'll both have the watch along again today, but life is a bit different. Bruv, And you know what? Skyline, not Skyliner. Yeah, Skyliner said something profound. Actually, I've got a couple more comments before we proceed. That beat sample, if that beat sample better come out, I'm promising right now, I'm gonna put a note on my calendar of maybe a week time or 2 weeks time from now, saying B sample follow up. And if I don't get a follow up, guys, I'm doing a specific video on smoke, expecting that follow up to come through. I might even write a letter to the British Box Board of Control. Because at this point, like, you are taking the piss. Maybe he'll move to the US. They love redemption stories in the US. You're nobody unless you've been redeemed there over there. Yeah, best place for him to go at this point. Go in the US. They don't know if Adam. Half of them did it. Most of them didn't even know if Adam. And they when it comes to drug treats, they've got an open door policy. Anybody's welcome in America. Only in America. Shout out Don King. My coach said he thinks Benn will get a ban. Plausible, but that was a rumor. It wasn't official, so I've got to wait to hear more from that. But if he doesn't prove his innocence, he will get a ban. The issue is that how are you going to find where that thing is? If somebody comes to you a week later and says, by the way, we found traces of, I don't know, let's just figure something out. What's in Carmax? I don't know if I'm cocoa butter, surely. We found traces of sodium carbohydrate in your body, bruv. Yeah, there's some big blood clot. Theobro, no, that's cocoa butter. Yeah, methyl sulfate. We found some methyl sulfate in your body. Trace amounts. If you don't find a sufficient amount of evidence of what that relates to, you will be banned for X amount. How are you gonna? First of all, how the flip you're gonna find where that drug is? You're gonna have to go to your coach, effectively, and say, or go to the doctor and say, listen, here's the drug. Where do you find this drug? Yeah, they will start looking around. How long is a piece of string? I don't know. Some drugs are easier to find. Other drugs, it could be Rabina or something for we know. It's very difficult to say, well, where to find these places, but you can find them eventually. If it's in something like a cream, I don't know, cocoa butter, for argument's sake, they may turn around and say, you know what, you didn't really you did consume it, but you didn't. You put cocoa butter on your hands. You then ate your food that was clean, but through some chemical malarkey in the air, you managed to consume a banned substance. If it's like that, cool. Wrong with the fight, fair enough. Like Dillian White, I think he popped dirty, but what happened was that he popped dirty for something that he cleared, I think, with the boxing board of control, and it was trace amount of something that can be found in a pre-workout drink, like a household pre-workout drink. It wasn't anything specific, because it was a very common one. And the board said, you know what, we found the evidence, we'll allow him. So it is fair. And this is the thing. Maurizio said something where, should there be a threshold? Should there be that part between, I don't know, maybe if you got 0.01 or 0.001 of a substance, should you be banned for that? I don't know. What that guy said, Dr. Umar, what's his name? Umar, what he was saying, it was mad. You can flush it out your system. That's where it starts getting a bit political. It starts getting a bit peak. People in the US are pissed people book flights and hotels. America's a big place. I've been there twice. Stay there for 3 months. I can guarantee you, he'll be fine there. No questions asked. Skylar said I should jump on. No, big up Maestro. We'll do something. I'll hit up Maestro. Wilder was undersized against Fury, so was Fury enhanced? No, because the requirements, the threshold on heavyweight is not a weight limit. There's no weight limit. Like, you don't need to. If there was a weight limit, fam, it would be tough because Tyson Fury would have to. And also, if someone in 10 years' time, let's say someone comes in at 7'1" or something, 300 pounds, but they're proper, like, they don't look obese, they don't look overweight, they look proper chiseled out, but because of their bone structure, because of their size, they go over the weight limit. It's a bit difficult to cut them off. So I get it. Big up ringside reporter Joe Habib, out there in the US, showing much love. It's peak. It's peak out in the streets. It's peak out in the streets. For me personally, it is. I'm pissed. I am pissed. I don't know who I'm pissed off at. Actually, you know what? It's the lot of them. It's really the lot of them. It's Eddie Hearn. It's Kelly Sowland. It's who do we go for? Who else? It's these guys. Because ultimately, well, Tony Sims, I cut him a bit of slack. Because Tony Sims has got no track record of any fighter under his record until now that's tested dirty, to my knowledge. If I'm wrong, someone let me know. But to my knowledge, I don't think a single boxer has tested dirty that's worked with Tony Sims. So he done his part. This Robert Smith from the Board of Control, blood clot. This brother. Oh my god, incompetence is a word I would describe him as. Josh Taylor, Jack Catterall situation, incompetence. Varda, fam, Varda, UCAD. I'm gonna put them in the same category because both of them were in the same boat. They both withheld information from the public up until the actual Daily Mail reported it. Okay, you've got the promoters, both of them knew about this a month ago. Like 2 weeks ago they knew of this and they decided to cover it up. But who picks up the pieces? Us as the fans, the undercard as well. And you know what? I'm gonna give the media as well, because the media were there for hours and hours and hours, only for Eddie and Cali Sarden to walk away, to then turn around and say, I'd say, oh no, we can't answer no questions. After they waited the whole day, are you taking the piss? Are you taking the piss? These are the same media writers as well. That's bear in mind, in the UK, if they're pissed off at you, yeah, when they go into the offices, News UK or bloody wherever offices they go into, yeah, Daily Mail, Daily Star, The Sun, BBC, ITV, bruv, if you've pissed them off, those writers are not going to write about you with high praise. They're not going to be like that. Like, they're not going to write about you in the best way, in the best light, in the best format. They're not really going to do that. And going forward, when you do get your W's, when you do get your wins, they're not really going to pick you up. They may pick up the fight, but they're not going to pick you up for an amazing event or an amazing card. And so, making friends in the media or not pissing them off is, for a business like an events promotional business, it's imperative. And this is a big step up from Eddie Hearn. A big step up from Eddie Hearn. But it's been a very disappointed. Very disappointed. We might go for another couple of more minutes, guys. Oh, bagging boxing to keep going, bro. Much love, man. Much love bagging boxing. Big up to yourself as well. If you've got a channel, guys, subscribe to Eubank Boxing. Much love as well for the support. So rehydration limit was 160. Crazy. They only gave Chris £3. The one that senior wanted it stopped. I disagreed with Skylander when he turned around and said, CDR is doing this proper. CDR, first of all, was a former fighter himself, one of the best fighters to come out of the UK. And after some of his fighters, particularly Michael Watson, have come out really, really poor. Like physically, like they can't speak anymore, or they're on wheelchairs, etc. They've come out poor. And some of the fights that he's been around in that period of time have been very similar as well. So he's not foreign to this. And a lot of the situations where those fighters do come out poor, they were a bit underweight, they were a bit weight drained. That played a huge factor. And when he saw his son going through this similar stunts or similar things, he was pissed. For me personally, I'm very empathetic in this situation. He also lost his son. He lost his son, guys. I think it was last year. Rest in peace. I think it's a Seb Eubank. Rest in peace. He passed away last year, I think. Well, I think the year before, age 29. And he doesn't want to lose his son. Or another, he's another son of his. So I understand it from his perspective. Maybe he knew of the drug thing. It's plausible he knew. He already knew, because the way Eddie was saying that the both teams agreed that this fight will proceed, and they are comfortable in this fight going forward. And that was on the 23rd, 24th of September. Well, if they have a conversation at that time, let's just say it ended in that week. That was basically last week. Let me get my calendar out. Last week or the week before, they were comfortable, or they all agreed that this fight should proceed. Maybe Junior said to his dad, listen, this is what's happened. And now his dad is very vocal of the situation. I don't know. That remains to be seen. I'm not too sure. But regardless of that, I'm happy that this fight was pulled. And it's not because of Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn's banging on about it. Go off, Eddie Hearn pulled it. Bruv, you only pulled the fight because the board pulled the fight. If the board carried on and said no, it's not a problem because we don't respect VADA rules, bruv, you would have cracked on with it. You would have cracked. And if it was for the public as well. This is where integrity comes into play. I have to question his integrity, Eddie Hearn. Questions would now be asked about other this fighters. Cordina KO'd in opponent. All of a sudden, do you know what? I'm of the belief I'm of the belief that Tony Sims fighters are all clean. Like all of them are pretty much clean. I very doubt that they're on some pets. Very doubt it, because, and I don't think that Conor Benn took something willy-nilly. I don't think so. I think there's something's wrong. Conor Benn doesn't seem like a drug cheat. Even though his doctor was banging on about it, there is ways to go about it. I don't think Conor Benn is a drug cheat. Everything I've seen of Conor Benn, the perception I have of him, everyone I know that's talked to him, nah. Pound for Pound said, Pound TV, big up Pound for Pound TV. Eubank never actually made the 157 weight. Why is he posting that? He got down to 159. 159.3 specifically. So he posted that today as to, this is the weight of me today. the weigh-in is actually supposed to take or should have taken place yesterday. So if he was 159 today, chances are he probably could have made 157 yesterday at the very minimum. I'm almost certain he could have made. Bearing in mind, he started eating flipping like takeaways the last couple of days as well. We got a couple of bits like he would have made weight. He would have made weight. Me personally, I would have said that I've got be on for the next 5 minutes as well, guys. So big up for all you guys that's been on. I appreciate it. You lot, we're all in this together, bruv. It's been a shit show, but it is what it is. Gogoruga. Big up Gogoruga. 3 pounds rehydration is too dangerous. Even the IPF raising the rehydration limit from £10 to £12. You're right. It's extremely dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. And the thing is, for Eubank Jr., he may have actually dodged a bullet. Do you know what? I think Chris Eubank Jr. is happy that. Well, I think he should be happy that he came. Like he weren't able to fight, because now he can fight someone credible. He can fight someone in the top 5 amongst the the middleweight division. Maybe Triple G. Not bad. Not bad. Shout. Maybe Triple G. Maybe Murata. Maybe Charlo. Maybe I don't know who. You know the names. Maybe Charlo's gone to 168. But you know what I'm talking about. Maybe fight these names. Could have Benn now. We'll talk about it another time and his options. But all I'm saying is for Eubank, this you know what, God has a way of helping people out, and I think Eubank was helped out by that. He could have, came out, he could have been, imagine Conor Benn a little bit juiced, smacking people up, weighing in on people, smacking them up. And Eubank Jr., weight drain Eubank Jr. comes out, look, found his career cut short, looking like a vegetable. And his dad knows this going into the fight and couldn't do anything about it. It's sad, man. It's sad. So I'm glad this was kind of pulled. The dad can sleep at night knowing that, the fear he had of potentially losing another son at the end of the week, it's glorious for him, and I'm happy for Senior in this case. I'm very, very happy for him. And going forward, Eddie Hearn, right now you're on sus watch. Eddie Hearn, sus watch. Kalle Sauerland, sus watch, fam. Who else? Tony Sims, I'm compassionate with. Even though you knew about before, it should have come from your mouth. So I've got a little bit of more compassion towards Tony Sims. Tony Sims is a good guy, and he's a good guy. Tony Sims gets a free pass in this situation. Eubank Jr. gets a free pass as well. It's Conor Benn and Eddie Hearn for me. And the board, bruv, Robert Smith, you crook, fam. Yeah, my man. I want answers, fam. I want to know when the B sample was taken, when the B sample is taken at the same time because it's from the same sample. But I want to know when the B sample was tested. I want to know what the results are. I want to know what the ban is. I want to know how the drug entered the system. Was it through injection? Was it through pill? Was it through a household item? I want to know all of this information ASAP. I'm not hearing it, fam. I'm not hearing it. Yeah, anything else is excuses. I am not hearing it. I am not hearing it. I want to know everything. At least by the end of the month, I want to know what the drug was. I want to know what the pre-sample results are. I want to know what the flipping what's the other thing? Oh, what's the other shit? How it got into Conor Benn's system, what the ban is. What's the ban? If there is a ban, okay, and if that does come about, the WBC have to pull, or a lot of the wherever governing body is Conor Benn's in, it's got to be pulled out of it. Okay, if he is found guilty, and Eddie Hearn, poor accountability, yeah, compassion for the traveling fans, poor. Yes, I'm not expecting him to give refunds out to everyone. If he does that for every show, for every fight that pulls through, he'll be broke, fam. Big venting events companies, I get it. They can't just refund every traveling fans, etc. They can't really do that. However, okay, you could do something like 100% refund of the tickets, and we will give you a huge discount on the next tickets that you buy with Matchroom Boxing, or for any fight. Any fight will give you a huge discount, 30% discount, and that would be a reflective of the whatever, the money that you would have spent on travel or ticket or anything from the last fight. So we'll give it back to you, some form of credit. He could have done some shit like that from, but this motherfucker, yeah, Eddie, you've had a bear. Oh, Eddie's had a bear, and going forward, and I'm not. Wait, hold on, let me take my headphones off. I'm not putting Eddie up against any other promoter, because for me, he's the best promoter out there. But at the same time, I expect better from Eddie. I expect Eddie from Eddie, better from Eddie. He effed up, and going forward, he needs to be like, bruv, what the fuck? And the Fury stuff and the Fury fight pulling through, I put it down partly down to Eddie, but Frank Warren and their team was a little bit impatient at the same time. There is also blame for Eddie on that, on that side, because Frank Warren, from what I'm hearing, did send an email out, did send communication out to, not Frank Warren, George Warren, sent a communication out to Eddie Hearn and Frank Smith. They didn't get back to him. And they in fact, Eddie and them were the ones to say, yeah, but we heard it from Tyson Fury's Instagram, so it must have been pulled out. Like, excuses, fam. I expect better from the lot of them. Disappointed with Eddie in the last month. Just to end it, Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing have had, projected, bearing in mind, I'm talking about the fights that are scheduled between now and December, and anything that's come from now till the start of the year, since the January the 1st, okay, up until December, yeah, I'm talking about all the fights all the shows that are scheduled, including going forward and all of the past shows. If everything goes according to plan, the Eddie Hearn would have had 12 UK shows in 1 year. 12 UK shows in 1 year. He's had shows in other countries as well, but 12 shows in 1 year in the UK. Eddie, it's been a shit year. I'm sorry, but it's been a shit year for Eddie. I'm sorry, I'm not buying the America, Mexico excuse, because their fights are 3-4 a.m. in the morning. The next day, 9 p.m. in the UK. What's happening? What's happening on a Saturday? Right, like this time, fucking this time, bro. This time. Apologies, let's go back up a bit. I think the rehydration limit was for the morning of the fight only. No, there was a morning there, so there was a weigh-in at 1 o'clock, I think, on the weigh-in day, which is on a Friday, which is yesterday. Weighs are around 1 o'clock, 1:30. Sometimes it's whatever. Midday, let's say midday. Midday, Friday was supposed to have a weigh-in. He was supposed to weigh in at 157 on Friday. Then he's got rehydration clause of I don't know how much. I think it's 3, 5. I don't know. Some places I'm seeing 10. I don't know. But he has to have another weigh in Saturday at 11 a.m. and he has to weigh in within, let's say, 5 pounds of the weight limit. Okay. Just to clear that perception up. So Chris Eubank Jr. done a video today, and he done a video I think this morning, and his weight was 159.3. That is acceptable for today, and the weight that and the rehydration clause element of it. Hope that clears any kind of confusion. I wasn't even a fan of Benn. I always thought he just a loudmouth, arrogant guy living off daddy's name in fighting bums, Boots, Ennis, and Virgil Ortiz was always gonna smack him up. In-game tactics said that. Hold on. Is that Arsenal? Or is that Man United? I can't see your profile. Yeah, let me know what team you support, bro. I think that's Arsenal. I think that's Arsenal or Man United. But I hear what you're saying. I disagree though. He's not fought bums. They're somewhat credible names. And Virgil Ortiz and Ennis, Boots Ennis, have both fought, or their resume is probably just as poor. Virgil Ortiz beat McKinson, who's a very credible name, and McKinson's very good fighter. But a lot of their careers and a lot of the names that they've actually beaten are of that similar level to the Chris Artillery, the Vargas, Grenard, like this kind of level. Would they beat him? Boots will. Virgil Ortiz, I don't know. I wasn't impressed with the McKinson fight. I wasn't impressed. And I think Conor Benn could beat Virgil. Boots Ennis is a bit of a tough ask. Boots Ennis is on the level for me, ability-wise, as your Crawford and your Spencers. Ability-wise. Resume is a bit lacking because he's a young fighter. Like, hopefully going forward, he could have some good fights. Who is Boots Ennis fighting? This is a great question. Thanks for letting me know. I'm going to look this up. Boots Ennis. BoxRec. We're going to go BoxRec because I want to find out if you actually fought and who you're fighting. Because I did do a watch along for his fight. Like, it was earlier this year. Surely you should be fighting some credible names. Surely. And if you are, I've not heard of it. What's going on? What's this flipping? Hold on. Let me look it up. I've got it up here. BoxRec. Yeah. Jerron Boots Ennis. BoxRec. He has. No, this could be wrong. This needs updating. This is last fight was 2015. He weren't 2015. That's why I fight afterwards. Oh fuck! When did this last? Where was the last fight? Custio Clayton. That was it. I watched it as well, and that was May 2022, and we're in October, so we should expect fight news fairly soon with him. Fairly soon. He's not scheduled in for anything, but fairly soon. Custio Clayton's a good fighter as well. I rate him quite highly as well. The fact that he got him out of there second round is the truth. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's lock these people off, Bugsy. Flipping. Apologies, guys. You got some fruity trolls on. Anyway, big up Abdurrahman as well. It was injected 100%. I know this. The drug can also be used to mask other drug substance issues going on here. True. How do you know it's 100% injected? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was injected. Maybe that drug, maybe that injection was already cleared by the board, or I don't know. Something's already. There are some times where it gets cleared by the board. I don't know. UCAD said, fantastic. You could crack on with this. You could take this drug recovery for antibiotics, but VADA weren't notified, and VADA finds him. VADA finds him. It's a bit weird. Can you name me one good fighter or boxer to come out of? I think it's Somalia, not Somalia, yeah. Good question. I've got a couple, bro. Yeah, Adil Mohammed, Frank Warren fighter, very good prospect. Fingers crossed he goes all the way. Also, world champion in Ramla Ali, who is a women's boxer, to come out to the UK. I think she's within. I don't think she even had 10 fights, and she's that. Well, she used to be Formula 258 management, now working with Panther Sports, and one of the best fighters to come out of Somalia. Bruv, yeah. So I put some respect on our name, bro. Yeah, have some level of shame, bro. Adam Mohammed and Ramla Ali, and I think they're both from Tower Hamlets. I know Ramla's from Bethnal Green. I think, brother, I swear she's from Bethnal Green. I swear to God, anyway, and I think Adam Mohammed is from that region as well. He's from Tower Hamlets as well. Local guy. Conor Benn screwed up big time. This would have been the night to go back 30-year legacy. Agreed. Rumors that Nigel Benn took the same substance when he fought Gerard McLennan 30 years ago. I don't know that. I hope that's not the case. Like father, like son. Fucking hell, bro. Please don't tell me this is right. Please. I'm begging you. Big up Bruce Kai as well. It's been shit. But you know what? Big you guys up. Big up Bruce Kai. Hey, the big man. Quality shot boxing. Great on the video that you've done with Dr. Umar. Uman. Sajid, I think Sajid, something like that. Big up to you on that one. So big up. On that, we've got all opinions. Also, we've all got opinions, but it's the rules at times like this. We are suddenly becoming drug experts and pharmacists alone. Fam, this is what happens, yeah. It's in boxing. And you know what? Not just in boxing, but in most stuff in life. If you say to someone, this can't happen because X, Y, Z, and you give them technical things, bruv, they're going to look it up. Yeah. If I guarantee if Eddie turns around or Sky Sports turn around to football fans and said, listen, we cannot broadcast the football on the basis that the cameraman needs some, I don't know, flipping Microsoft WX35000, yeah, flipping memory chip card or whatever it is, bruv, I guarantee you're going to have a lot of football fans look it up. Okay, this has a 1.5 gigabyte drive. Bruv, they would be looking this shit up. I promise you right now. Yeah, if you say to boxer fan, oh, by the way, the reason why the fight can't happen because he tested positive for flipping Nanda Flamen, like flipping Cleland Crow, whatever that shit is called. Yeah, I looked this shit up. I said, what the flip is this? Yeah, what does it do? How does it get into your system? How many times are you supposed to take it? 3 times a day, in the morning, once in the evening. If you get any side effects, go to your local GP. You want to know that kind of information. Well, it's knowledge, isn't it? Knowledge. Knowledge and strength for the fam. You want to know how, sorry, no. Keep it busy, fam. Keep it busy. So it's all new here. Here listening, always good to see other boxing channels here listening. Big up Andrew Southgate. Are you related to Gareth Southgate by any chance? Or Andre Southgate? Are you related to Gareth Southgate? If you are, I do apologize for any opinion, vulgar things that I've said about Gareth Southgate in the past. It's out of passion, and I, I still want him to go. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's bad. BBC are legacy fight killers. He ain't lying. BBC is a cancer to boxing. Fucking hell, fam. Okay. I'm not against that. I'm not against that. Somalia has a long history of warriors. Visit the British Museum or read up on the history. Agreed. Not just Somalia, it's a lot of places in Africa as well. Actually, probably a lot of places in Africa. These are the same guys who would be amongst the front line of people who fought in wars, prehistoric wars, etc. And also as well, there are a lot. And you have to also think about it. The structure of boxing and the infrastructure of boxing. I guarantee you, if there was at least investment in grassroots in the UK, grassroots in this place, grassroots in that place, I'm almost certain you're going to get some world-class fighters coming out there. In Africa, bruv, a lot of the top boxers are from African descent. A majority of them, to be fair, at the highest level. I'm talking about the big ones. I'm not like the heavy ones. The ones who are a bit more lighter, probably not. But you know what I'm talking about. They have like amongst the lineage of history, they come from an African descent. Okay. And therefore, if there was an investment in grassroots boxing in Africa, bruv, it would be mad. It would be mad. I think they'll probably win Olympics. The more I think about it, these men will win Olympics. Well, having said that, there ain't no Olympics coming out anytime soon because boxing is corrupt. We're back here again. COVID can be taken as tablets too. Are you talking about it as a raw format, or is there like, for example, can you find this substance in Ribena? Oh, sorry, there's Americans. Could you find this substance in a Diet Coke? Could you find this substance in flipping Fanta? Like, is this a common? Like, is this in cocoa butter, guys? Like, actually, no, cocoa butter. Actually, don't bring up cocoa butter, fam. You don't need to sponsor us because you're that good. Yeah, is this in cocoa butter or any kind of cream like Nivea? Wipe it across your hands. You get some food. An hour or two later, and you've got chemicals of flipping, what's it called, clomidine, flipping chlamydia on your hands, and you're eating your food. All of a sudden, you consumed it. A bit like COVID back. That's how apparently that's how COVID. A lot of COVID spread. COVID, flus, etc. I'm asking the question, guys. I could be wrong. And then like 5 minutes later, or whilst you do this, or whilst you're eating, drug test comes on. Kada, this is the UCAD or VADA. We're here to take just a urine sample. Oh, fucking hell, fam. Sorry, babe. Let me just take a piss. We're back in a minute. Yeah? It could be like that. It could be like that. I don't know. I hope that he's not said the stuff. Oh, big up. Every big fight in boxing hasn't happened due to the BBC. No, I disagree. That is where I'm gonna disagree with you. A lot, maybe some modern ones, but not all. Fury Joshua didn't wasn't didn't collapse as a result of the PBC. Far from it. That did not that was not the case. Maybe Wilder and AJ, but not Fury AJ. That was not because of the PBC. I'm thinking about other fighters. Okay, Lomachenko versus Devin Haney. That was not because of the PBC. Far from it. That wasn't the reason. Maybe Bob Arum, maybe, but that were because of it. Okay, and what else? Actually, you could argue that Fury 80 the first time could not have happened because of the arbitration, the PBC's involvement of it, and the contract they signed to begin with. Plausible, but the latest one, no. There's a lot of fights that didn't happen. Brock Khan historically didn't happen, apart from early this year, not because of the PBC. Because of the actual fighters. Fucking hell, these men are relentless. Blood. You know, you get trolled here. It's a sign of greatness, fam. They want to block our blessings, guys, but we shall prosper regardless of these hoes, fam. Yeah? Bros before hoes. Let's go. Fucking hell. Conor Benn would have had enough power to fight Mike Tyson with that kind of substance in the body. I don't. The levels probably not. The levels probably not. But if you reduce to the grills, absolutely. Inject the like button, guys. Yeah, absolutely, guys. Pick up you guys. Smash that like button. Or actually, it's supposed to go for an hour and a half. But now here, it's almost 2 hours now. But you've had a bit of great sport. Dr. Uma Sajid. Thanks, Otis. Listen, guys, subscribe to Quality Shot Boxing. Quality Shot Tennis as well. He's got other channels as well. Go subscribe to his channel, guys. Yeah. I'm going to put a link in the description box below. Okay. After this video, we're going to put the link in the description box below. Subscribe to him. Okay. We're not going to big up Daily Mail and shit like that, fam. Nah, fam. But this is who I'm picking up. October Red, Base, the Kid, and you know what I'm talking about, fam. No relation. Southgate, you ain't the one, fam. Big up Andre as well. No rematch. Not sure what you mean. Let me see if you mentioned something else beforehand. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what you mean. Oh, if you're talking about kind of Benn rematch, we need to get the fight. We need to get the first fight to take place to begin with. But this has been a great show, guys. Much love to all of you guys for the support and the continuous support you've been showing the channel as well. We will be back next week. I'm talking about live. We might have a live. Should we have a no? We're gonna have a live next week for the boxing. I think it's Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall, which is happening next week, Saturday, tomorrow, Sunday. Let me just double check. I could be mistaken. I think it was rescheduled. Oh, and I think someone asked me about this as well. Elizabethan belt. You man, I don't know if did ask me about this one. Marshall versus okay. All right. Let's go back a bit. Actually, let me share my screen so you lot can see what I'm on. Hold on, guys. Oh shit, it's been a mess. Open this up. Flick it back onto this side. Open this up here. All right, boom. Hold on. Let me know when you guys can see it with a think that should be all good. So next week, hold on. Why is it working? Share screen to share. All right, boom. So next week, we've got a couple of shows. Let me know if you guys want to run through it. We've got Devin Haney fighting next week on ESPN Plus, and not sure UK platform, but we'll look up we'll look up going forward. Savannah Marshall versus Clarissa Shields will definitely also be zooming a bit. Yeah, Savannah Marshall, Clarissa Shields will definitely be doing that. Michaela Meyer, Bob Gardner is on the undercard of that. So, yep. Wilder versus Hellenius. I think that's on Fight TV. Maybe not. We'll think about it. Plant versus Darrell. I think that's on the same card. Gary Russell Jr. versus Rodriguez is on the same card. What else? So that's the fight next week. So we've got Savannah Marshall, Clarissa Shields, and we've got Wilder versus Hellenius and Caleb Plant on the undercard as well. We might do those shows. The American shows. UK show we're definitely doing. That's on Sky Sports. No questions after doing the women's boxing for the Elizabeth belt. Courtesy of Her Majesty, or the late great Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, who passed away the fight week of Savannah Marshall, Clarissa Shields. And that fight was therefore rescheduled. WBC gave this belt in commemorations for Her Majesty. Am I against the belt? I don't know if I'm not really against the belt. It's a one-off belt. It's like a one-off belt. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit like it's a virtual signaling belt. You can't win it. It's not a part of the mandatory thing. It's not the actual real belt. It's a if you win this football match, we're gonna give you a flipping gold armband. Like it's stupid stuff like that, man. Like, okay, cool. Like, okay, for the girls, whoever wins it, particularly if it's Savannah Marshall, but she's got like a belt like that, she go to her friends or family or her daughter or son going forward, say, listen, like, I was supposed to fight a lady called Clarissa. On the week the Queen passed away, when the fight was rescheduled, there's a belt called this belt, and this is what this belt called. Imagine, that'd be cool, man. That'd be cool. But all in all, I heard WBC also bring it out the Idi Amin belt. Fucking hell. Bruv. The Mugabe Championship. Nah. This has gone left. Much up to all of you guys for the continuous support. We'll be back next week. We'll do a couple of videos at the start of next week, because I think AG might be having fight news. Fury will have fight news. Further information on Conor Benn, Eddie Hearn, and whatever situation comes up. I did hear the Eddie Hearn interview in full. I was disappointed when I heard the Eddie Hearn interview in full. It didn't seem a level of compassion to the fans who were invested. There was really some compassion about it. It was poor. It was a poor conducted interview. I want to hear from Conor Benn. I want an hour-long interview with Conor Benn, and I want flipping answers. I'm not accepting anything other than answers, and I want them answered. So, as far as I'm aware, we're gonna do some videos next week. It might not be on a positive note. There's nothing positive to talk about. From what, like, who's fighting this? like today, for anything big, let's fucking be honest, fam. We'll talk about the women's fight next week, or the build up of that as well. I will do a preview show to that also. I promise you guys that's what we're gonna do. Until next week. And the women's fight, I'm going to promote that. I'm going to pick up that fight. Better than the Conor Benn shit. Yeah, the women's fight is getting my respect. Flipping it. Oh, fam, I'm more excited about that than this, fam. Anyway, Gogoroga, big up. Chemist made clomid in the lab. Synthesized drug, not natural, so won't be in food or drinks. I need answers. We need answers. Me, Gogoroga, you better done for cause Bruce Kai. Fuck, who else? Quality shot boxing. Arnold, so amazing. Bruv, we need Andre Southgate. Yeah. Fam, we need answers, fam. Who else? Abdurrahman, Assad, Pound for Pound TV, banging in boxing, yeah? We need answers, fam. Joe Habib, bruv, everyone here is demanding answers now at this point. Okay? Through any way, shape, or form, this whole show, we wanted clarification. And I want it. I want it. But much love to all of you guys. Big up, guys. You brought a dub for much love. Gogoroga, much love as well, bro. Or sis, I'm not sure if you go or sis or other 2022. We're all inclusive on this channel. Unless you want to identify as a flipping car fam, I don't know if I'm a bit mad. But much love to all of you guys. Until next time, peace, love, and prosperity, guys. It's been a pessimistic show, but we move. And I'm gonna catch you in the next video. Peace.